Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Gregorio coming back at you now. Here with Diablo. Come here, Diablo. The little boy who will be king, Prince Diablo. He says hello. I think I've seen every Michael Jackson documentary. Sundance Festival had one with R. Kelly, and the Leaving Neverland documentary thing. And I wanted to just give on my 2 cents on this whole hot topic. Because I don't think that a lot of you people out there can separate the artist from the person, which is something that's very easy for me to do. That means that you can love the art, the artwork, the painting on the wall, and hate the person that did it, and separate the two, personalities. Everybody always says that Elvis Presley, I'm a huge Elvis Presley fan. I'm Elvis's #1 fan in the world, and I love Elvis. But everybody calls him a pedophile, that he was like always molesting little girls and stuff. And I just ignore that. Like, literally, it's not a big deal. I'm not saying that I loved Elvis Presley, the person he was day to day, and who he dated, and who he went out with. I'm saying that I loved Elvis Presley's movies and his music, and what he gave to the world, and what he did. But nobody wants to talk about that. They just want to talk about how he was a pedophile. And that's news. I love my Sweden. I love you, Sweden. Yeah, and the same goes with Michael Jackson. Like, you can love the artist and not like what he did. I think what a lot of the human mind with human psychology is that to love the artist, you have to think that everyone else is lying, and that all these people are just lying, and all the people that called Elvis Presley a pedophile, they're just haters. And you gotta just, understand that Michael Jackson, although I love, I'm a huge fan, and I love his music and his contribution to the world, I don't think that all these people are lying, and that they're just haters. I did great work. I did great work for years and years and years, but like for my whole life, I had this secret dark side that I never told anybody, that I was an alcoholic drug addict. And so I was loved by the people and the public, and they never knew that when I closed that door, I would stick a needle in my arm and inject drugs all day and night, and it was a secret. And I'm sober today, but nobody knows. Nobody will ever know. And, I just think that goes to show that people also wouldn't accept it or believe it. They just, they aren't willing to separate the two. Like, if you're a Michael Jackson fan, then there are people that hate Michael Jackson and don't want to listen to his music because of the things that they think that he might have done. You see what I'm saying, people? So, as for the Sundance Film Festival and stuff, he generated billions of dollars for Sony, and Sony backs up this. So it's about money, and it's a cash grab. But, with the internet and all this shit coming out of the woodwork, also there's a famous rapper out there. I'm a big, huge fan of Snoop Dogg. And whether he smokes weed or doesn't smoke weed doesn't matter if I'm going to stop listening to his music or quit buying his albums. I'm a huge fan of Snoop Dogg, and I don't really care. Snoop Dogg can leave his house right now and go out on the street and, murder. Like, look at O.J. Simpson and the O.J. Simpson trial, people. Like, come on. He did it, guys. Come on. He's just so famous. This famous celebrity. Like, he's America's favorite football player, and there's no way he could have killed that white woman and, the daughter, that white woman's daughter. And, you got, what's his name? Tatum O'Neal? Or, no, excuse me. Scratch that. Anyways, long story short, people, you can separate the two and love the artist and just not like who they were as a person. Donald Trump, I'm starting to notice, because I've always hated Donald Trump, but, now I'm starting to think, okay, well, I don't like the person that he might be a racist bigot, but he's doing a pretty good job as being president as far as some of our other presidents, you know. Obama, I love Obama, the human being, the person, and the president. So you can, like, separate the two and, you know, think outside of the box. And that's just, maybe not everybody can do that, though. Not everybody can do that. Maybe the people that hate Michael Jackson, the person, and the music, you know, that's their prerogative. That's okay, too. The Beatles, the people, Pink Floyd, what he did as a person, and Pink Floyd, I love Pink Floyd, the band, Kurt Cobain, and Nirvana, and Courtney Love. I mean, this is some great artwork, but some human beings that aren't really up to par as far as day-to-day life and times and choices. So that's my whole thought about watching the documentary, Leaving Neverland. I mean, here's what I take out of it from that whole thing is we don't know and nobody knows because we weren't there. But we do know that he was a really fantastic artist and that he contributed, you know, to music a lot. And watching Billy, what's his name? Billy Bilson, watching the original Moonwalk from 1955 on, in black and white, the original Moonwalk with the tap dancing shoes, Billy Billards, whatever. That's fucking amazing. And I don't know if he went out there and raped 20 white women and molested 20 little kids. I don't know. It doesn't really matter because what I saw on the TV screen was a fantastic entertainer. And if, you know, these people, these human beings get off stage and do bad things, then maybe they will never be held accountable because our culture and our society can't look at things like that from both ways. If I were the judge in that case in the Michael Jackson trial, I'm sorry to say, Michael Jackson might be in jail right now if he were still alive because I wouldn't have let him walk. I wouldn't have let him go. I would have to sit there and tell him, like, hey, dude, straight up, like, if you're molesting kids, stop molesting kids. And if you did it, then what needs to happen to somebody that does that? See, this is why I'm not a lawmaker, man. I think that they need help. And that's that they should definitely be in prison or in jail. Or I can't even begin to, because I'm a Texan, so I think that they should die. If you like to rape kids or molest children, then yeah, maybe someone needs to, I don't know, because it's a cycle. People who like to molest kids are people that have been molested, and they, you know, my mentality is that I'm passing on a torch, that I never put myself in a position where anybody can make that kind of predicament in the first place, you know? I'm never going to put myself in a situation where those kinds of accusations can even be made in the first place. And as a responsible adult, that's my job, you know? And no matter how rich or famous or how much money you have, you don't do that. You just don't fucking do that. So he was as wrong as sin for even putting himself in the position for that happening. Everybody's up in arms on social media and Facebook talking about it. And remember this, guys, that the loudest one in the room is the weakest one in the room. And I've seen it in my life just watching people that they call it lumberjacking, where I've seen guys who are like the straightest, butchiest, manly men turn out to be gay, or like the homophobics are actually homos, or like the Ellen DeGeneres turns out to be straight, or whatever, you know. Things are always opposite or not like how it seems, you know. And everyone's so politically correct these days that I'm not even sure if I'm allowed to tell these kinds of jokes or not, but people stop being so politically correct. I saw on TMZ today that a news anchor man got fired today because he stumbled over his words when he was talking about Martin Luther King, and he was fired for accidentally sounding like he almost said a racial slur. And to me, when I heard it live and then I watched the recording, I didn't even catch it. But the guy was fired for being a racist, and everybody jumped his neck for being a racist. And then there was a guy on social media who made his daughter walk in the snow for being a bully. He was bullying his daughter for being a bully, which makes no sense. So, I don't know. I think that people are stupid, and that's why I try to stay by myself and try to let, that's my best friend, my dog, and myself, and try to stay alone. But, yeah, you gotta learn to be your own best friend and don't be a bully. To just kind of, I don't know, try to think, and, like, it's okay to joke around, and, you know, I remember when it was okay for comedians to make racial jokes. I mean, this was okay, and lots of famous comedians make lots of racist jokes, both black, white, Asians, all gays, like all of them make all kinds of jokes, and it's okay, and it's funny. And those were the classic stand-ups from the 70s and 80s. I don't know what happened to our society today, but I'm going to stay in the 70s and 80s when everybody was allowed to kind of make jokes about everybody, but not, you know, and it wasn't racist, and it didn't have to be always politically perfect or politically correct. What happened to that, people? Like, have a sense of humor and relax, and, like, don't be so serious. And, also, there was a female Hispanic politician who said, we're going to go get those motherfuckers, talking about, referring to the Donald Trump camp or something, and everybody jumped her neck, and she was just being a passionate, you know, female woman and speaking her mind, and they jumped her neck for it, which was ridiculous. So yeah, man, I think what y'all need to do is just chill out and not be so politically correct. But the Sundance Festival, the Michael Jackson Leaving Neverland, I mean, I've seen every Michael Jackson documentary out there, and I don't know, man. Like, it just gets you thinking, like, damn, that sucks. And, either way, like, same with Elvis. I love Elvis, and I mean, I choose not to believe that Elvis was a sicko. Like, I'm gonna choose to believe that he was a good dude, and that y'all are haters and he wasn't a pedophile, but I wasn't there and I don't know, and honestly, I don't care. I love his music and I'm a fan, and I'm gonna sing and dance and watch his movies, and I think he's cool. So, I don't know. I guess it depends, but he's still cool to me. I love my dog people. And okay, bye everyone. With love, all for love, all for love.